A continuación, los invito a ver el siguiente video.
My name is Peter Convey. I'm a senior terrestrial ecologist, a senior research scientist with the British Antarctic Survey in the UK. I've been working with the Antarctic for nearly 30 years now. So most of my research is actually a lot further south than here in Tierra del Fuego. But I've worked from the centre of the continent all the way up the Antarctic Peninsula and the islands, up into the sub-Antarctic and up into southern South America. So the first thing that's special about Antarctica is actually not scientific. You can't go there and not be affected by it. It's a really spectacular place. The Antarctic Peninsula has been warming very rapidly. So its ecosystems, both on land and in the sea next to it, are very good models to give us an idea of what's going to happen to ecosystems generally. One of the main effects of this sort of climate change for biology is that species distributions are expected to change. So in very simple terms, if it gets milder here, then species will spread south from further north. That could include natural spread, if you like. Species move around and colonize naturally. But very importantly, it includes what are called alien species or anthropogenic species. And these are species that we bring with us when we're traveling around. So I do understand that wasps have been introduced in this part of Chile. Never been here before. If species like that get in, they're species that have a function in the ecosystem that simply doesn't exist here. And the entire ecosystem here is evolved without those sort of, in that case, predators around. They're very, very vulnerable. The native ecosystem is very, very vulnerable to alien species like that coming in. So the assumption was always that life on land on Antarctica was wiped off at glacial maximum, has recolonized recently. And in the last 10 years, we've completely changed that view around. Molecular biological studies have largely done that. If you look at DNA, you can look at mutation rates. So you take two what are called sister species, we're confident they're closely related, and we see how much mutation has happened between them. This was first applied to a family of flies that occurs on the Antarctic Peninsula, and actually on subantarctic island like South Georgia, and here in South America. The family is chironomids, midges. There are plenty of those around. But the particular part of the family is effectively a unique small group of sister species that only occur in these three regions. When we first did this, we thought they would be separated by maybe tens or hundreds of thousands of years. We had the assumption that they were recent, like I said. When we got the data back, the answer came back as over 40 million years. And that immediately set us thinking, well, geologists say the Antarctic Peninsula split from South America 30 to 40 million years ago. Okay? It sort of roughly fits with the geological timescale. The other piece in that jigsaw is we never had a parallel insect from Tierra del Fuego. We thought one must exist in evolutionary terms, but we never had it. And each all through the literature, it turned out that about 100 years ago, a fly was described in that group from the Beagle Channel, or this area, so this channel through Tierra del Fuego. And nobody had ever found it or worked on it since. Talking with Tamara Contador here about 2 years ago when we first started working together, we just talked about this as a subject. 6 months later, she emailed me and said, well, I've found that fly, or I think I've found that fly. And it was on some of the beaches around here. And so we now have specimens of it. And we now have the potential for a PhD student to work on it and do that molecular biology to put that third piece of the jigsaw in. So what we were doing this afternoon was looking for that sort of fly on the beach. To be fair, we didn't find it. Well, I don't think we were not quite in the right habitat. For a long time in Antarctic science, we've made the point that you can't look at Antarctica in isolation. And you actually have to look at Antarctica and all the attachments northwards from it. Building up this sub-Antarctic centre, the research and the outreach activities and the education activities around it really is key to wider understanding of this region, making sure the region is seen as relevant within Chile, within South America, and then within the much wider sort of Antarctic-related study area.